He had actual ideas.
Exactly. And the difference is they used to say Obama was a celebrity. Obama became a celebrity because he was great at his job of being a politician.
You know the difference?
That's different. That's a huge difference.
This may get me in a little trouble. You know the difference between the Obama and Harris campaigns was Obama connected with people, and all the celebrities wanted to do concerts because they wanted to be with Obama because he was with the people. In the Harris campaign, they went after the celebrities to do the concerts to get the people. They got it backwards.
I'm just saying.
I don't know about that. Okay, let's be honest here. First of all, one could argue that Obama resonated more because the people chose him to be the Democratic nominee for the presidency of the United States of America, as opposed to somebody backdooring their way into that position. Let's just be honest about it. You had Biden. I know that you supported Biden. Obviously, you spoke about his mental acuity and all of that other stuff, but we all saw what we saw. Before the debate on June 27th, when the debate happened, and by the time that was exposed, you then waited 3 weeks after that before he decided to walk away, but it was too late for anybody else to get in. So Kamala Harris, who didn't resonate during the primaries in 2020, couldn't even get to Iowa, suddenly is the Democratic nominee. And then then you roll up at the convention in Chicago, and everybody's like, she's a rock star. So it was like, wait a minute, how that happened? How that happened? I don't know how that happened. So you're looking at all of those things and you're saying, yes, I voted for her. A lot of people voted for her. But in the end, we end up feeling like damn fools because we supported it. We fell for the okie doke, as they say. You know she did. If you had a primary, the likelihood is that she would not have been the Democratic nominee. And you can't say that about Trump and his side. You can't.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So most of you guys should know I am not the biggest fan of Stephen A. Simp. But every now and then, I have to give Stephen A. Simp his credit due to the fact that he will come out and say things that I feel are true about the Democrat Party. And I think that at this point, Stephen A. knows that it was very stupid of him to vote for Kamala Harris. He knows that it's actually embarrassing to admit out loud that he voted for Kamala Harris, especially the first few days of this Trump administration, where President Trump has shown that he's not playing. He's not playing around, and he's doing the things that the American people voted him in office to do. Okay, he's gotten more done in a week than Joe Biden has gotten done in 4 years. Okay, so Stephen A. here is going to school this Democrat Ro Khanna, who decided to vote against the Laken-Riley Act, on why the American people are fed up with the Democrats and their refusal to get on board with common sense. And I think that this discussion right here on Bill Maher is one of Stephen A.'s best segments when it comes to politics. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Okay, so let's talk about the border one. Okay. Because ICE is now detaining people. This has a lot of people concerned. The Laken-Riley Act, I'm sure you voted on that. I think you voted no. Okay, but it did pass with 46 Democrats in the House voted for it. And in the Senate, it passed 64 to 35, so I think about 12 Democrats there. This is a law that says that ICE can detain any illegal who is charged, arrested, or convicted of a crime, not merely an accusation, so don't get excited, Karens. Has to be charged, arrested, or convicted. Now, Ruben Gallego, who we've had on the show a number of times, and I think has bigger ambitions, that he's now the senator from Arizona, he voted for it. He said, I'm bringing the perspective of working-class Latinos from Arizona. That perspective, I think, has been missing. And he talks about people who are largely out of touch with where your average Latino is. It sounds like he's calling out people like you who voted no.
I like Ruben. There are a lot of Latino. I do. I think he ran a hell of a race. But there are a lot of Latino leaders who also voted no. Here's the basic thing in this country. If you're convicted of a sex offense, of a violent offense, absolutely you should be deported. But if you're just arrested, we are a country which we have due process, and you should have a trial. I think that's a reasonable position.
No, it's not. It's not a reasonable position. See, that's the problem with these Democrats. Even the ones that seem reasonable, somebody like Ro Khanna, who's a progressive, on some issues, okay, I may be able to agree with him, like, for example, when it comes to banning stock trading and stuff like that in Congress. But, when it comes to issues like immigration, these people are lunatics. They want to give illegal immigrants the same rights, constitutional rights, as American citizens. And it's like, no. The Constitution and constitutional rights are for Americans, for citizens, not for illegals, okay? So no, illegal immigrants don't get due process. If an illegal immigrant is arrested and law enforcement finds out that they're here in the country illegally, okay, that's been confirmed without a doubt, this person is not from the United States of America, they're here illegally, what do you need due process for? Why do you have to go through a whole trial? You have to go in front of a judge and go through all of this when the person is here illegally? It doesn't make sense. They should be deported on the spot. We know they're here illegally, right? So again, it doesn't make sense. You don't get due process when you're here illegally. And that's what these people don't understand. When you start talking about applying constitutional rights to illegal immigrants, you're going to lose a lot of people. Because a lot of people will say, okay, well, what's the point of being a citizen if the illegals get the same rights that we get? What's the point? You're diluting citizenship, right? And that's what a lot of these lunatics don't realize. They don't understand. This is why they're so out of touch with the American people.
I think most people can agree also that, yes, let's deport convicted felons, convicted criminals, but let's not deport our nannies and students or dental hygienists who've been living here for years and have kids in communities. We can have a common sense position on this.
I get that. That makes a lot of sense, but there's a flip side. So for example, if I remember correctly, based on my research, in Sacramento in 2023, there was a law passed in terms of empowering the governor of California to really force the environmentalists and the courts to move quickly, like 270 days, if I remember correctly, something along those lines. Why do I bring something like that up with a subject like this? Because here in your state, they can drag their feet and prolong certain things. And as a result of that, things don't get done nearly as fast as they should. When we're talking about immigration and we're talking about immigrants who may be criminals, you're talking about them being arrested. Let's have due process. But if it takes too damn long to address it, that pisses people off. That's one of the problems that exist in this country. You're looking at stuff and you're like, okay, you arrested him. Was he in jail? All right, you let him out. Recidivism is an issue in this country. You let somebody, you arrest them, you're letting them out the same day, stuff like that. You got law enforcement officials that are getting discouraged because they're looking at it and they're saying, wait a minute, why are we out here risking our life and taking care of this stuff when y'all are just letting people out? You got to handle business. And a lot of times we hear about the red tape and all of that stuff, and you're talking about a candidate right now who's not supposed to be the president of the United States now. He's sitting up there and he's talking about expediting the process at every turn. Let's just get stuff done. Let's just get it done. Now, I don't know if I trust that. I don't blame you for not trusting it. But we have to understand the American people are saying, you know what, enough's enough. We've tried it that way. We've been doing it that way for decades. We sick of y'all. Let's wait. Let's go through the process. Let's arrest somebody. Let's let them out. Let's put them back out on the streets. Oh, let's make sure they have due process. You think somebody wants to hear about due process with somebody that's in this country illegally? They want to hear that. You in the country illegally. Hell with your process. Yeah. You got the audacity to admit a crime after you got here illegally? We ain't trying to hear that. Nobody's trying to hear that. So they're saying, wait a minute, what are you going to do about it? Where is the common sense?
Facts. Stephen A. Simp is correct. Okay? What Democrats are missing is common sense. Nobody wants to hear about due process for illegal immigrants. Okay? Nobody wants to hear about their constitutional rights. Nobody wants to hear about any of these things that Democrats are talking about. Okay? If you are here illegally and you are charged and arrested for committing a crime, then you should be deported on the spot. Okay? That incentivizes the illegals who are here. Hey, I better make sure I'm on my best behavior, right? I better make sure I don't commit any crimes, because if I commit a crime, I'm going back, okay? So I'm just saying what President Trump is doing is working. He's using common sense. He's cutting through the red tape and the BS that Democrats put in the way to prevent this country from doing anything. And that's what I love the most about the Trump administration. That's what I love the most. I mean, we was just doing a video yesterday about President Trump lecturing the woke mayor of Los Angeles about all of the regulations and red tape and permitting that is in place to prevent people from rebuilding their lives after the LA wildfires. Trump is a businessman. Businessmen understand how to get things done, right? Let's just do it. Politicians want to go through all these processes. They want all this bureaucracy. They want to delay as long as possible. They don't want to do anything. And American people are sick and tired and they're fed up with the Democrats and their nonsense. It's their fault. They let the illegals into the country with Biden's open border policies. And then with these sanctuary city policies, the illegals are free to commit crimes and to do whatever in these cities, because the cities also have soft on crime policies. So when they commit crimes, they don't deport the illegals. They don't help ICE deport the illegals, and they let the illegals back out in the streets to commit more crimes and to terrorize people. And Trump is saying, no, we're putting an end to that. And Democrats want to boo-hoo, whine, and cry foul about constitutional rights, right? And again, this is why their party is out of touch with the American people. But a lot of it stems from wokeness. Wokeness is antithetical to common sense. The Democrats will not turn their party around until they abandon wokeness. They have to break up with the far left, right? If Democrats continue to be in bed with the far left, especially when you talk about these social issues, they're never going to be able to recover. They're never going to be able to recover. Because wokeness is how you get the open border policies. It's how you get the sanctuary city policies. And people are fed up with it, man. People just don't agree with it. And I think that Stephen A. did a good job of dropping a truth bomb on Ro Khanna when it comes to this subject. Because, again, people like him, who I find to be, at least, on some issues, somewhat reasonable, when it comes to this issue of immigration, again, just still out of touch, right? In Looney Tunes land. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.